All right, what's going on? Much better. Okay, what's going on, guys? Welcome to BornFit Journey, episode 2. Today, a lot to cover, right? So a lot of new changes since the first episode. I'm gonna run through all of those with you guys. I'm gonna talk a bit more about like mindset or just new changes mentally since the first episode, and then just gonna finish off talking about the next steps to get this place up and running. So let's get into it. So first thing to talk about are the new changes that have been added since the first episode. So I posted on my Instagram story, and if you don't follow me there, it's at @csourborn, same as the YouTube. But I posted on my Instagram story, if anybody had questions about everything that's been going on lately. And the two main things that it came down to were one, money, how much all of this is costing. And then secondly, like what I'm choosing to outsource to somebody else to do versus what I'm doing myself. So as I go through all of the new additions, just gonna bring those up, right? The first thing that happened was repainting the walls. That was something I did on my own. Reason being is because when I reached out to different painting companies to see what they would charge me, or different contractors, they quoted me somewhere in the ballpark of like $1,000 to $1,500. And somebody who's never painted before, I looked up how much the paint supplies themselves costed, and it was only like $125 to $150. So, the painting the walls didn't come out perfectly. I'll say that much. But that is one part to this entire plate. Like, I knew that I could do a good enough job that it would look presentable and it would look, not perfect, but good enough. And at this stage in my entrepreneurial career, got a lot more time than I do money, so that's why I chose to do it myself, because there was a huge savings that went along with doing it myself. Granted, it took like 10 to 12 hours, but I'm happy with how it turned out, and I'm glad that I was able to save the money on it. And it was a huge learning experience as well. Like, definitely made a lot of mistakes as I went through it, but I learned, iterated, and got it done. So that was the first thing, painting, and in total that was about $150 and like call it 12 hours of work. So second, after that, was the bathroom renovation. I hired a contractor to do that because, learning how to and buying the equipment to retile a floor and install new pipes under the bathroom, or under the sink rather, that's something I did not feel confident in my own abilities to do. So I chose to outsource that to a contractor. I'm gonna flash up a video of what the bathroom's looking like now, but it turned out really good. I'm really happy with how it looks. It's not finished yet. Still got to add in, shelves for hygiene products. I want to get a bigger mirror, and I just need to have a cabinet or some sort of storage for my cleaning supplies. But that's the bathroom. That was the second thing. Third is it's actually part and part. So I'll say the third thing was the mirrors, right? Let me actually show you guys what that looks like. All right, so these are the mirrors I'm going with. Each one is 3 feet wide and 5 feet tall. So this is 2 of them right here. I have 12 total, but these first 2. So again, I chose to do this, myself rather than pay a different company to do it, because when I asked for quotes about how much they would charge me to get, the dimensions that I wanted, it was somewhere in the ballpark of about $9,000 to $10,000, and I thought that was egregiously high. The mirrors themselves only cost $85 a pop, so times 12, that's about $1,000 right there. However, so that's like $9,000 of savings right there, but the time investment is pretty ridiculous. So these 2 alone took about 9 hours, and I need to get this out of the way first. This has not just been me. I've had my brother, my amazing, incredible brother, he's been helping me out a ton with everything the past couple weeks. And Max, if you're watching this, thank you. I love you, and I'm seriously indebted to you for eternity. Like, I count my lucky stars that I got so blessed with obviously with my brother, but just my whole family. Like, everybody's just been so supportive and helping out where they can, and I feel really blessed for that part. So I want to make that clear. This is not a one-man show. It's close to it, but in terms of getting everything set up here, I've had a tremendous amount of help from my brother, and honestly, I don't know what I would do without him. Like, I seriously don't know what I would do without his help, because this is just too much for one person to do. So again, it's not a one-man show here. I've had a ton of help from my brother, from just everything, but primarily like mirrors and installing all of this. The painting I did myself, but everything else he's been a tremendous help with. But anyways, talking about the mirrors, right? So these two took us like 9 hours to put together, and we made a lot of fuck ups, excuse the language, but we made a lot of mistakes as we went along. And so what we did, so after we got these two in, we realized, hey, let's figure out a different process. Rather than using like hand and pencil to mark the drill holes, we went and bought a laser point leveler. Essentially, it's going to be able to just display like a T along the wall. And instead of having the like singular mounting kit that I bought at first, we went and bought some J cups that go down the entire width of the wall. Much easier to get them perfectly aligned so that the mirrors don't like, kind of change height or change angle down the wall. So that's still on the to-do list, obviously, but we have the process down and gonna get that out of the way, hopefully this weekend. So that was the third thing, the mirrors. Fourth is the flooring. So obviously rubber flooring covering the surface of the ground, and I'm gonna have turf that goes over it on this side only, which you guys can't see right now. But that's the fourth thing. In preparation of that, I had to mop up the entire gym, which also sucked, but necessity. So the rubber flooring plus the turf, that was about $4,000 all in all. And again, like self-installation, because it's not that difficult. Once we get into the weeds of actually sort of perfecting it, I'll show you guys a video of what that's going to look like. But that was the fourth thing. That's the flooring and the turf, and $4,000 there. Again, not outsourcing it because I don't need to. I have the time, and I'd rather just not have to spend more money on something as simple as getting the floor done. So flooring, number 4. And number 5 is all of the equipment. It's been the most chaotic 3 days of my entire life, getting all of this stuff delivered. Just everything was just getting piled on. And the equipment, sites, the retailer, they didn't give me a great, confirmation update. So today, for example, I had the second batch of equipment all get delivered, and I wasn't here, and they didn't tell me until it was too late. So very chaotic, but all the equipment is in. So I have 3 different retailers that I'm going with for the equipment, and that's REP, which is going to be the benches, the racks, and then the functional trainer. That's all REP. And then I have all my weights, like the dumbbells, kettlebells, the bumper plates, medicine balls, and cardio equipment, all from Rogue Fitness. And I just have some dumbbell racks from Titan Fitness, but to be honest with you, I'm not too happy with how they look, so I might have to go to a different company for those, and I might have to reorder them. But money-wise, the REP equipment was $11,000 all in all, and then that was about like half of it. The other half is Rogue, and that was also another $11,000. So about $22,000 in total for the equipment. Probably a little bit high, probably $23,000 just to be conservative with everything, because there are a lot of like additional just overheads that ended up coming in. But we're looking at about $22,000 for all the equipment. And that's really where I'm at right now. Like you'll see, we have all the benches set up. We have one of these half racks, about like 80% done. Still gotta tighten everything. But yeah, so the benches, I only have 4 total, so all the benches are done. We have 3 of these half racks, so we got 2 more to assemble. And then there's a bunch of other shit to do, obviously. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So right, we got like the walls, we got the mirror, or the bathroom, the mirrors, flooring, and equipment. And those are the 5 new additions since the first episode. Alrighty, so the next thing I want to talk about is like mindset, or I guess, like new mental developments that have occurred since the first episode. And all of it really just centers around the amount of work that goes into building a business. It's not that I was unaware of what the amount of hard work that it was going to take, but it was just a huge mental adjustment. And what I mean by that is like the past 2 weeks, I've worked more hours and more intensely than I think I've ever worked in my life. And it really, it took some getting used to, for sure. So like, just to give you a picture of what I mean. because I'm still working my 9 to 5 job at the bank, I've had to, make time for this at the odd hours of the day. So I've been waking up at 5, going to bed almost like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And so I've had to sacrifice sleep a lot. I've been averaging like 5 hours of sleep the past week, which I'm not used to at all. So it's been tough on my body, but like it's just the realities of getting a gym set up, especially when you're doing it without any help, aside from my brother. Don't want to get that twisted. But yeah, it's been huge mental shift for me. But the cool thing about it is like the amount of work that this is taking has taught me, or it's allowed me to discover more of myself. And what I mean by that is I'm learning a lot more, or I'm learning that I'm capable of a lot more than I used to really like give myself credit for. And it's liberating, and it's a huge booster to my mental certainty, or my level of confidence in my own abilities, which is awesome. And so there's a quote that I love that sort of encapsulates, what I'm talking about right now. And that's with entrepreneurship, like 80% of the time, you just feel like you're drowning in all the work and everything that's thrown on your plate. About 15% of the time, you feel like you're just treading water, like sort of just surviving. And then 5% of the time, you're just floating above the water. And I definitely feel like I'm drowning right now, 100%. But again, it's, all of the work that I'm doing right now, all of the pains and sacrifices that I'm making, they have a purpose. There's always a purpose behind what we do. And again, another quote that I love is from the Bible, but it's a paraphrase, but it's like the work works on you more than you work on it. And I love that quote because it really speaks volumes to what I'm experiencing right now. Like all of the new challenges, the headaches that have come, it's serving a purpose, and that purpose is building up my character, building up, not just physically building this gym, but also myself, building up my character to transform the person I am into the person that I want to be. And despite all of like how how fucking hard this past few weeks have been, I understand, like in the grand scheme of things, I'm gonna look back on these moments, and I'm really gonna just relish and cherish them. So that's what I'm trying to tell myself in the moment. Like, just try to cherish these moments, because they don't come too often, and I'm gonna look back on them and be grateful for them. And then the only other thing that I wanted to bring up mentality-wise is it's the difference between sort of dipping your toes in work and versus really just committing to something. And so what I mean by this is all throughout my life, I have been somebody who says I'm gonna do something, and then I just fucking do it. Like, it's simple as that. And again, I apologize for the language, but this is just how I feel, and these are the words that I want to use to describe. But like, beyond everything else, I'm just like ruthless about doing the shit that I say I'm gonna do, and that's been one of the qualities about myself that served me so well throughout my entire life. And it really bothers me when I have to deal with like half-assed commitments, or just the word that I really hate to such a degree is trying. Like, that just is such a weak word, and it just automatically, like, the words that you use to describe whatever you're doing really dictate the actions that you take. And so whenever people use the word like try, or when I'm guilty of it too sometimes, I say like, yeah, I'm trying to do this, or I wish, or I think maybe I would like to do that. Like, fuck that. If you're certain about doing something, just fucking do it. So even like yesterday, there was a gentleman I was speaking with at the gym, and he said, "Oh, I hear you're trying to open your own gym," and my initial thought was like, what the fuck does that even mean? Trying to open a gym? What, like, no, I'm opening a gym. This is what I'm doing. And it really, like, I just feel so gross inside when I hear the word try, or just weak language that really just does not sit right with me at all. There's just such a clash with how I feel mentally, and like my mental framework, versus when I hear stuff like that, or when other people, like, and this doesn't apply just to business, it applies to anything. If you say you want to lose some weight, or you're gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna try to lose some fat, I'm gonna try to eat healthier, I'm gonna try to work out. No, fuck that. You're gonna work out. If you want to lose the weight, you're gonna have to change the way you eat. It's as simple as that. And if you're not actually serious about making these changes, then don't talk about them in the first place. It's very, very simple to me that when people use language like, yeah, you know, I would like to lose some weight, or I wish that I could get a little bit stronger, or I wish I could, you know, squat more, whatever it is, like, stop wishing for shit. Stop saying you're gonna try to do this or try to do that. If it matters to you, if it's important, just fucking do it. And so that's, you know, obviously you can tell I'm quite animated when it comes to this stuff, but that's really like I would say like the crux of where I'm at mentally right now. It's all about just certainty and just violence with the amount of work and the amount of action that I'm taking and the certainty in those actions. So again, apologize for the language, but mentally, I would say that's a good depiction of where I'm at right now. All right, guys, that wraps it up for today. This has been BornFit Journey, episode 2. If you guys have any questions or anything you want me to talk about in the next episode or down the line, just drop them in the comments or message me on Instagram at @csourborn, and I would love to talk about that more in the comments. You know, the purpose of making these videos is one, for documentation for myself and other people to just see the journey that I'm going through, but secondly, also to just provide as much value as I can, whether that's the mentality or, you know, actually like what are the steps to opening a business, or just tactically, like why am I choosing to structure my offer this way, or why am I choosing to advertise this way, like stuff like that. So any comments about anything business related, just message me, shoot me a comment, whatever, and I would love to talk about it so that I can help you guys out more. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate all the support from everybody, and I'll catch you guys next time.